Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome to another stale movie review. Today I'm going to be talking about Chat Room. Really quick, before I get into this stale movie review, I want to say thank you to my creepy patron peeps. Thank you so much for your support of myself and my channel. I very much appreciate you, and I love you. Not creepy at all. If you want to check out my Patreon page, you can find me at patreon.com/nightmaremaven. There'll be a link in the description as well as at the end of the video. All right, so Chat Room is directed by Hideo Nakata, director of Ringu and Dark Water. I thought that was interesting. Just thought I'd throw that in there. It is about 5 teens, I guess that live in Chelsea. That would make sense, who meet in a chat room called Chelsea Teens. And, you know, they decide to become friends, share their problems. The creator of the chat room, William, has more manipulative and sinister intentions for his 4 online friends. This movie is all about kind of like internet culture, specifically chat rooms. It's maybe a little bit dated. This came out in 2010, so it's not super old, but I don't know like that chat rooms really are a thing anymore. So our main character, William, creates this chat room under the guise that he just wants to meet people to talk with in his area, I guess, of Chelsea. But under the surface, he has some very serious behavioral and mental problems, and he creates the chat room to kind of like manipulate and hurt these kids that he meets in the chat room. Like the way that this movie handles like very dark material. So this has a lot to do with, you know, mental illness, mental health issues, kind of specifically depression. I feel like that's kind of the big one in this movie, and suicide, particularly in teens and young people. And they kind of marry that idea with internet culture and how kids interact on the internet and how much stock kids put in like their presence online and what people think of them online. I really loved the way they visualized these chat room conversations. It took me a second to realize, but they literally like, they just, I don't know, they make the chat room a physical thing. So like when they are actually in the chat room, it looks like they're in this room together. Like the internet kind of looks like a series of like hotel hallways, and you see all these rooms, and spray painted on the front are like the chat room names or like the subjects. So like, you know, as the characters are walking by, you see one that says like barely legal and stuff like that. Like they all have different like themes and things, and you can go in the different rooms, and that's them entering the chat room. So obviously this is, when you see it happening, it's all happening online. Does that make sense? I hope so. You see William find a blank door, he spray paints Chelsea Teens on the door, goes in and just waits, and then people start entering the room, and that's people entering the chat room. So anytime you see them in that kind of like surreal hotel hallway looking thing or in one of the rooms, you understand that they are online and they're in the chat room. And the way they kind of distinguish between that is like the internet land of the chat room is super colorful. The colors are very saturated and bright, as opposed to reality, which is more desaturated, a little more dull. And you can kind of see how that represents the importance of the internet and your online presence to young people. I mean, that's something that's still relevant today. Maybe it's just not in the form of chat rooms anymore, but more in the form of like Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. Like we care about what we look like online, how we come across online. So I think the colors kind of represent the importance of that. So it was very visually entertaining. I thought the story was super well done. It has, for me at least anyway, it has a star-studded cast. William is played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, who I have been in love with that man for such a long time. Like, not just like, I mean, yes, he is super good looking, but the things I've seen him in, he's you know, he does a really good job. He's a good actor. It's not just that he's good looking, I promise. I'm not that shallow all the time. Then we have Eva, played by Imogen Poots, who you will probably recognize most recently from The Green Room. Jim, the guy who plays Jim, is the only person I didn't recognize. He's played by somebody called Matthew Beard, which I looked him up. He's been in some big movies, but not movies that I really watch. Kind of like drama, Hollywood movies. So it's just not the things that I kind of watch. He's not been in a lot of horror films or anything, but he did an excellent job. You know, he's got a new fan in me. And you know, he's pretty easy on the eyes too, just saying. We have Emily, played by Hannah Murray, who I've seen her in another UK-based production. Is a television show called Skins, which if you haven't seen it, so good. Don't watch the shit US version. But Hannah Murray is in that and she does an amazing job. And then finally, Mo is played by Daniel Kaluuya, who you will recognize from Get Out. Does a really amazing job. The whole cast does. Like, the star-studded cast, they're all amazing. UK actors are just better actors, aren't they? There's a lot of people that are gonna start arguing with me in the comments on that statement, but whatever. I stand by it. And this is totally a side note and unrelated to anything, but the rooms that they use for the chat room, I'm pretty sure is the same room in the BTS Blood, Sweat and Tears music video, which is popping up in front of my face right now. I'm sorry, but isn't it sad that that's the first thing that popped into my head when I saw the chat room? I was like, I recognize that room. I'm pretty sure it's the same. I don't know where they filmed this, but I would put money on this being the same room or the same place. I don't know. It looks the same. Anyways, that's besides the point. The only thing I didn't like about chat room is, one, it's not a horror movie. It's more like drama thriller, you know, combo. Even though I argue a lot that thriller is a version of horror, but it's more, you know, if it was like a Venn diagram, it would be like in the middle between like horror. It'd be a mixture of horror and like drama. Or horror and crime or something like that. So it's not 100% horror. Just based off of like the summary I read on it and the movie posters, it looked like it was a horror movie, so that's why I watched it. I'm not sad that I watched it because I really enjoyed it, but it's definitely not a horror movie. More thriller drama than anything else. I wanted more of a lot of the characters. Obviously William is the main character, and Jim kind of takes on a major role as well, and then the other ones are a little bit more minor even though they're part of the main group. But I just wanted more of them because they each had kind of like their individual stories and things that they were dealing with and things that William was trying to manipulate. But of course, they couldn't focus so much on some of the other characters, or they just kind of had to quickly get through their stories. So I just wanted more, and it really reminded me of Skins, like, you know, like what these kids were dealing with. So I feel like this would have done really well as like its own show or like a season of Skins. Like they should have, like they just should have made a new series, like, and called it Skins, and it would have like, could have been this, and it would have fit really well, I think. Like really well, actually. I'm copywriting that right now, so they take that idea. That was mine. Nobody's probably gonna take that idea. But yeah, that was the only thing I really didn't like about it. I just wanted more because it was so good. That being said, I'm giving this a 5 out of 5. I really, really enjoyed it, even though it wasn't really a horror movie. On IMDb, it has a 5.6 out of 10. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 9% critic score and a 34% audience score. And I kind of skimmed their reviews, and I just don't really understand what everybody's problem with it was. I don't know, but I frequently have the unpopular opinion, so it's whatever. And then there's nothing on Roger Ebert, so. If you've seen Chat Room, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it. You can find me on my blog at nightmaremaven.com. You can find me on morbidlybeautiful.com, and you can find me on patreon.com/nightmaremaven. That sounded weird coming out of my mouth. Nightmare Maven. Right. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here. Become a Creepy Peep today. I post videos Monday through Friday. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye.